Good morning, Lizwe Nation. Today we are back again on Tea with Lizwe. I think you can see at the background, we've got our nice Facebook cover page saying Tea with Lizwe. And then you know the time. It is that time again today where we will be taking you under our confidence in line with the strategies that we have. But today's topic is a little bit awkward. Because remember, you need to know who you are talking to. So I'm using the vocabulary that is say, whomst am I? It's never in the dictionary, the whomst am I. But let me firstly start by shouting out to Semi, Tsepo, Nicholas, all the guys that are following Tea with Lizwe. Thank you very much, guys. And then we really appreciate that. And then, as you know, this is Lizwe Mkhenebe. We help businesses to optimize their people, processes, and systems in order for them to gain their return on investment. That can be in line with your business, in line with your assets, in line with whatever systems that you are running. I know with Semi, he's doing Bitcoin in line with Bitcoin as well. So there's a whole lot of things that we'll be discussing as well when we continue with our tea every morning. But today I just wanted us to focus on whomst am I? Who am I? That is the right English. Who am I? And then as you can see, we've got our own cup of coffee today. And then we'll take you through our confidence to say, when you say you're listening to Lizwe, who is Lizwe? Basically, Lizwe was born in the Free State in a small town called Bothaville, where we are calling ourselves the maize capital of Africa. So that is where the maize production is happening, right here in Bothaville. There's a small farm called Lomagundi. So in fact, I was born in a farm in the 80s. So that is where I come from. And then that is what I've done. In fact, I failed my grade R. Yeah, it is called. In fact, that is grade one. I failed my grade one due to the relocation. My father didn't listen to the farmers. He will suddenly, when he does not feel good, he will suddenly leave the farm to another one. So he was job hopping. That is what my father was doing. And I come from siblings. My siblings, I've got 7 brothers and 1 sister, but now we are left as the 4 brothers at home. And then I had an opportunity to be good in maths and physics. We see that there are celebrities that are teaching these subjects nowadays, so maybe they will be doing a good job. But that is in line with giving towards the education system as we see the effects that COVID-19 has had with us. So we are not saying they are doing the wrong thing. They are doing the right thing. They are offering their time in order for them to help the learners who will be left behind in the curriculum. So we are applauding them for doing the good job that they are doing. So from Lomagundi, we moved to a farm called Labdorens. And then in Labdorens, I started doing from grade 1 until grade 6. And then by grade 7, I did it in a primary school called Bothaville Public School. And then, as I mentioned, I was very good in maths and science. So when your career is determined, it is determined by the mission. You must have the mission in terms of what you are doing, or your mindset must be correct for what you will be doing. And then from that, I did my grade 7 at Bothaville Public School, and then I left Bothaville Public School, and then I went to grade 8 and 9 at Dipetuo Secondary School. And then there were troubles that were happening, there were riots that were happening during that time. But what interested me more is when I arrived, in fact, from grade 7, my grades were going up. especially in the subjects of maths and physics. And then there was business administration as well that I was doing a little bit of it from grade 8 to grade 9. And then always from those grades, grade 8 to grade 9, I was always in the top 10 of the school in terms of the best achievers. But what was important was my relationship with the principal of the school, because every time when I was at the tour, I'll ask them for a key where every morning I'll come in and open the door and then read from 6 o'clock until the start of the class, which is at 7:30. And then I'll leave after school for 1 hour, and then 3 o'clock I'll be back until 9 o'clock in the evening. So I was opening the gates and locking the gates. So that is what was happening in that regard. And then the relationship that was very critical was between me, my class teacher, and then the principal. You'll have to be trusted in order for you to be given those resources for the school. So, and then I left to do my grade 10 until 12 at a secondary school in Northwest. That is in Monken Secondary School in the Northwest. And then I continued my relationship with the principal, my subject matter expert in maths and physics. And then, yes, the rest is history. So when I tell people that when I was doing my grade 12, we were 12 of us in a classroom. So there were four girls and then 8 boys. So we're specifically doing maths and science. So there was an advert that appeared it was a City Press newspaper. And then in this advert, there was something that they stated. They wanted the bursary student. This bursary student must only come from the KwaZulu-Natal province. That was from a company called Mungeni Water. That was during 1999. So I'm giving up my age now. And then what happened in this regard, 12 of us, because we are doing maths and science, I went to the principal and said, the principal, can you please assist us in terms of putting in this application? Although we know there's an underwriting that says the student that must apply must only be from the KwaZulu-Natal province. So we applied, 12 of us. It was around June. And then around September, there was we called it a telegram during that year. There was a telegram that was sent. I had to collect it to the post box. And then when I arrived there, I found that I was invited for a bursary interview on the 12th of November. And then with the relationship that I had with my principal, on the 12th of November, I was writing my vernacular exam. So we decided to write a letter, or in fact make a phone call to the company so that they can delay the interview. So they delayed the interview until the 4th of December. And then what got me puzzled during that interview is I use a taxi from Klerksdorp to Johannesburg, and then from there use a train from Johannesburg to Pietermaritzburg, and then I arrived in Pietermaritzburg around 7 in the morning. The interview was at 10 o'clock. My interview didn't take that long because people were puzzled by my name. When I arrived 10 o'clock, when I entered the interview room, there were 2 gentlemen that I'm always thankful for. There was an HR director, Mr. Jeff Jafta, and then there was a general manager for operations and maintenance, which was the division that wanted to have an engineering student having a bursary in order for this student or this learner to come back and assist the company in line with their operations and maintenance of their assets. So that was Mr. Lula Milendizana, may his soul rest in peace. He's already late. And then the first question of the interview was very nice and very fun. We see your name is Ndoze Lizwe, and then this is a Xhosa name. What do you want in Northwest? So that was the first interview question. Then I explained my history, and then the second question was, if you are happy with the condition of the bursary, you just tell us what institution or which institution you will want to study at. And then I told them I will study at any institution as long as I have a bursary. And then the last offer on that interview was, uh, right now, do you want to go back or you want to work as an in service now? So I said, no, can I please go back and then relax my mind so that I know that when I start my university study next year, I'm ready. So that was a 400 million investment that I've done. But you can see that it does what? It incorporated everyone. Because from the 12 students that we were, the only one with good grades was me. So I applied, all of us applied, and then they saw that no, out of these 12, we can only call one. It is an exception case, but we don't call it an exception case. It's a godly case because they have never done it. And it was the first time that they are doing it where they are taking a student out of their boundaries. Even now, when you look at some of the bursary application from the same company I've mentioned, they still state that the student must come from within their boundaries, which is the KwaZulu-Natal province. But I'm thankful because God was with me during that time, and then I managed to get the bursary, and then went and studied my mechanical engineering at the now University of Johannesburg, which was then Randse Afrikaanse University. So I'm saying you need to use whatever resource comes to you, but the mindset, the dedication must be there, hard work must be there, and then persistence. That is what we need to do. Even in businesses that we are running, we need to persist, persist, persist. If you don't do that, you need to do follow up every day. You need to make calls, you need to make connections. It does not mean connections you must have it because you've paid someone so that you can have a favor. It is all in the name of hard work. That is what I've learned in my future as an engineer, from an engineer to a manager, now a CEO of these engineers. So there's a lot of things that builds character. Character is not built by being greedy, it's built by helping others, built by listening to others. Sometimes when you're doing business or when you're doing a lot of things, you just keep quiet and you listen. Listening is the best skill you can ever have. So if you listen to what people are saying and then you follow suit and then you seek advice, that is the important thing. People are shy to seek advice. People, they think that when they raise their hand and say, please help, people will laugh at them. No, no one will laugh at you. And you owe no one nothing. Just asking a question. I remember when I was at university, there was a guy called Jonathan, very slow learner. But if you are not careful, you will fail because Jonathan always asks questions at the last minute and everyone is already dispersed. But if you listen to what Jonathan is asking, that is what will be in the question paper. And then I used to follow those guys, and then I still do that. I associate with everyone, and then there's no one who is better than me. I'm not better than anyone. We are all the same. We are all human beings. But the negotiation is the important part. And sometimes you can negotiate by just keeping quiet and listening. And then people trust that you will do. And then you act as you've promised as well. You never let people down. So that was the lesson for today's discussion. Whom am I? And then from that, what happened after that is I went to university and learned the engineering skills. From that, I went back to the organization and then worked for them. And then the rest is history. Because from there, with my negotiation skills as well, I've been able to open a lot of doors that were closed, or a lot of doors that will never have thought that these doors will be open as well. So, because of negotiations. Negotiation sometimes is not something that you learn, it's something that you you see people doing it and you say, how can I better negotiate this? How can I better do this the right way? How can I be better than that person? I've seen that person is doing it this way, but I can do it better. But you have to ask, swallow your pride and ask, how did you get here? What is happening? Why is your business so flourishing? So those are the things that we need to do when going forward as well. And then we need to, especially right now, we need to appreciate social media as well for being here, because that acts as a tool as well. When organizations see that you've got material that is going out there, you are telling now the history of your organization, how did you start, which we'll touch on when we go further with Tea with Lizwe. So organization can start to say, okay, this is a right deal. We can do a right deal with this kind of person. I always tell people, you can start business without any man. It is based on what you do, how good do you do it. So until we meet again next time, can you please put your comments in? And then if you want any information, just type in your email there. I know Semi has requested me to send him a work at home policy. I've done that. Work at home policy and the checklist for a work at home policy. They are in your email, Semi. So we're looking forward again, guys, to meet you tomorrow. And then we discuss a lot of things tomorrow as well. Remember, the only thing that you need to do is you need to like this video and then appreciate us, and then suggest what other topics you want us to talk about going forward during this lockdown, during this pandemic of COVID-19. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.